everyone, welcome back. My name is Lynn Wilson and welcome to my home. I'm glad you're joining me today. I hope you had a great day today. I hope today was extra special for you, but I know sometimes that's just not the case. So I hope maybe this video will just kind of give you that shot in the arm that you need to know you can do it, be encouraged, and know that somebody really cares. That's why I do these YouTube videos, because I truly care. And I like sharing information with people. I like helping people. Am I an expert? No. Do I have a degree in all of this? Absolutely not. I'm just like you. I'm just like you. I sit on the same kind of couch you do. I walk through the front door the same way you do. Hold down a full-time job like most of you do. I'm just an everyday person sharing everyday tips that I have learned along the way. So I just want to encourage you to know that I don't claim to be an expert. I don't claim to be an expert in anything, but I have experience and I share that, and I hope that encourages you. Maybe it's not like, there's no way I can do that. You might say, I can't do it her way. That's fine. Don't do it my way. But sometimes I find that I get ideas from other people and then I go, oh, I don't know that I would do it that way, but maybe I could do it this way. That's what I want to do. I want to provoke some thinking and to help you kind of think through stuff and know that you can do it. So, first of all, I want to give out 2 shout outs. Look at this beautiful card that says hello. It's got a little gem on there. Love this one. I want to make sure I've got the right person giving me the right card. Let me take a peek in here. Yes, this is from Laureen. Laureen, your note in here. She sent me the most beautiful note. You just made my day. Actually, you can see how I ripped it open. Look, there's nothing much left of this envelope. I was so excited. I love getting cards in the mail. I love it. So if you want to send me a card, you go right ahead. I love it. And I read your note about 5 times. And I was sitting at work and I read it to one of my coworkers and I said, I got mail. I had to bring it in and show you. So, wow. A real woman. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. I am blessed to have you as my friend, and someday maybe you and I are going to meet on this earth. If not here, we're going to meet you know where. Okay. Yes, and it is, I got it the day after my birthday, so listen, we do a birthday week around here. You're still good, girl. You're still good. Then I got this fun looking card, happy birthday card, and this was from Starling. I love your name. I love your name. Thank you so much for my birthday card. It's wonderful. I received this one as well. So yes, I had a happy birthday. My birthday was yesterday, and we had dinner with my kids on Saturday night. We went to a very urban type pizza place, and it was, what do you call it? Brick oven pizza. It's a little different, kind of specialty pizzas. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Asbury Park, New Jersey. So we were there having some pizza, and they have these tiny, tiny, tiny mini Brussels sprouts that they roast with balsamic vinegar. So we had that as an appetizer, and then we all got some different pizzas. We got 4 different pizzas. They're fairly small. We mixed and matched, and we got, it was a white pizza with caramelized onions, garlic, and bacon. And so it was delicious. And then we got a plain pizza, and then my older 2 kids got a pepperoni pizza and a meatball pizza. I think my daughter-in-law got pepperoni with onions, and my oldest son got meatballs, and our youngest son was there and he tasted a few of them, but it wasn't his thing. He's not really big on pizza. He came with his mom to wish me happy birthday, and then we hit Wendy's on the way home and we got him Wendy's. So everybody was happy. So what are we going to talk about tonight? What do you want to talk about? We're going to talk. Now, this might not apply to everyone, but it might help you, maybe if you're trying to help someone else do a stockpile in a tiny space. Maybe it does apply to you, but we're going to talk about it. So I've talked about this. You see many people on YouTube, they have these gorgeous stockpiles and pantries. And Jan from New York City Saves Money, she just did a video today, and she showed the back, she took a picture, and it was the background of her video. And she did a picture of her stockpile. And I loved it. It was 2 I don't know if they're metal. I think they're plastic units, and she has her stuff on it. She had a spare spot in the corner of her room. She put these things up. She's loading it up. As she buys bits and pieces, she's putting it up on her shelves. She's done. That's it. She's got a stockpile. That's all. How much does it take to make a stockpile? 1 can. You start with 1 can and you build and you build and you build to the best you can. Then you see other people that have stockpiles that, you know, I joke that when they open the doors, it's like the angels sing. It is perfect. Everything is lined. Now, I would love this because we talked about on my video on Saturday, I like lining up all the cans. Yes, I would love a stockpile, a pantry, a walk-in pantry that I could have everything lined up and everything in the same colored jars and labeled and baskets, and it would look so pristine. I would love it. But the reality is, there's 2 realities that I want to kind of hone in tonight on. Some people just don't have money. There's just no money. You're making minimum wage, or even if you're making more than minimum wage, the cost of things in general are expensive. You could be a single individual just trying to make it. You could be a single parent. You could be a couple, whatever the case is. The cost of electric and gas, putting gas in the car. Oh my word. I just did my budget for this month. And when I did the budget, I think I had 19 days left in our budget. And I know I'm going to go over budget in terms of filling up the car with gas. And I'm doing the half tank and above. You know, every time it gets to half, filling it up. I still can't do it. I'm like, it just costs money. The cost of everything, buy clothing, it's gone up. Every single thing has gone up. So I don't, you know, most people that I know are not rich. Listen, if I was rich and famous, I wouldn't have to do YouTube, would I? I'm talking to everyday people here. There's just not enough money. So maybe you have a few dollars that you can start your stockpile with. Maybe you have $1 you can start your stockpile with. But then you say, okay, so I have my $5. We talked about a $5 stockpile. I have $5, but Lynn, you don't understand. I have no room. I have such a tiny space. I had done a video a long time ago on, you know, small space stockpiles. What do you do when you have no room? How do you have a stockpile with no room? This isn't so much what the video is about. I'm going to give you some suggestions on things that you can get for the stockpile. But a real quick note, can you fit a 5-gallon bucket maybe in the bottom of your coat closet? Put some stuff in that. Maybe you have a drawer in your bedroom, and yeah, maybe in your bedroom. You might live, I have a friend that lives in a studio apartment. You know, there's the kitchen, there's the couch, there's the bed. That's it. There is no room. There's no closets. There's no nothing. You need to have a stockpile. It's not a matter of, oh, someday I would love to have a swimming pool in my backyard. That's, oh, yeah, I would love that too. That's not what we're talking about. A stockpile is a need. You should have a few things always on hand. You're going to listen to people that, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's not where I'm at. But you're going to hear people that say you should have anywhere, and I would agree on 6 months. If you can do 6 months, at least 2 months would be like my minimum. 6 months would be my sweet spot. You have people that have stockpiles anywhere from 2 years to 20 years. That's not where I'm at. I don't have the room for that. I don't have the money for that. And honestly, for me, I'd be overwhelmed with that much stuff. I find that when I have too much, I basically shut down. I know that sounds crazy. And I know people are going to say, but. Listen, you do you, I'll do me. I don't have the space. I just can't comprehend all of that. It just would overwhelm me. But I think my sweet spot would be 6 months. If I had to survive on what's in my house, in my pantry, freezer, refrigerator, and in my overflow stockpile, could I survive 6 months? Probably. We might be, you know, a little creative on meals, and some of them might be a little leaner than others, but I could survive. We could survive. We're okay. But what do? I have Lynn, I have this tiny little space. I have a bedroom drawer that I can hold some things in. I have a cardboard box. Maybe you have a cardboard box. And I'm telling you, Lynn, that's the only space I have. You could be in an apartment, in a studio. Maybe you have a small house and the house has no closets and you are just super limited on where you can store items and you have a tiny space. What would you do? Okay, tiny space and tiny budget. What do you do for a stockpile? So you're going to need to figure out a place somewhere, top of a shelf, clean out some little nook or cranny, maybe under the sink. There's always room under the sink. Even if it's under your bathroom sink, whatever you need to do. I know one person has no room at all, no space. Here's what they've done. They took a cardboard box. I suggested get at least a plastic bin if they could, but do what you have to do. Cardboard box, and they put it in the shower. And you go, oh, in the shower. Listen, there's no room. You put it in the shower. When you take a shower, obviously you take the box out. Now it's inconvenient, but you know what? It's a storage spot. It's a place to store. So if you only have a tiny spot, get your plastic bin, get your 5-gallon bucket, get your small cardboard box, whatever you need to do, put your items in it, take it out when you take your shower. When the shower is all dried out, put the box in the bin. You do what you have to do for now. Is this permanent? Is this the rest of your life? No, things will change. As it changes, you can grow and tweak and do whatever you need to do. What would I suggest that you put into that stockpile? So we're talking tiny budget, tiny space. What could you do? This is what I would recommend. Other people are going to tell you other things. You're going to listen to other channels. They're all going to have suggestions. I'm going to tell you what I would put in it if it was me and I could only fit a small cardboard box, let's say in the shower or under a bed or in a drawer or whatever. What could I do? Let's talk tiny budget and tiny space. Okay, we're talking very small. You don't have much. Okay, I would do this. We're not talking fresh fruits and vegetables. We're not talking organic. We're not talking whole grain. That would be hopefully in your refrigerator and in your everyday cabinet pantry. Maybe not to that nth degree, but you know what I mean. That would be your fresh stuff. So what is an overflow stockpile? It's the stuff that if there's an emergency, if you have to fall back on it, you have some stuff put aside. So it's not always going to be, you can't stockpile fresh carrots because they would go bad unless you had a root cellar, and then obviously then you're not in a tiny space. I would get cans of things that are a full meal. What do I mean by that? Let me show you something. So this is a can of soup, beef with country vegetables. Very, well-known soup. You can get an Aldi brand, you can get the Walmart brand, you don't have to get the brand name. They sell these at the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to say, I'm going to stick to Dollar Tree only because most people have one near them. Mine are still $1. Some people I know are telling me it's $1.25. You can go to Walmart, it might be cheaper, wherever you want to go. But for the sake of argument, tiny budget, tiny space, you can get a plastic bin at the Dollar Tree and you can use that to put your canned goods in. You can get your canned goods at the Dollar Tree. You get something like this. You can get it with chicken. You can get it with beef. It has your protein in it. It has a nice gravy in it. This one has it. Let's see what it has. It looks like peas, carrots, and potatoes. I'm guessing. That's what the picture looks like anyway. So here is a meal in a can. Let me give you another idea. This is mini beef ravioli and meatballs. So you have carbs, you have protein, and you have your tomato, whether you want to call the tomato a fruit or vegetable. There you go. In a can, a meal in a can. Here's another one, dumplings and chicken. So you've got your carbs, you've got your protein, and you do have a small amount of vegetables, but we're talking tiny budget, tiny space. You don't have much in terms of room. Excuse me while I take a sip of water here. You don't have much room. You don't have much money. So everything has to be thought tiny, small. What can I do in a tiny space on a small budget? You can buy a can of soup that's a hearty soup. Don't get something too brothy. Get a nice hearty soup that's going to give you some bulk. So when you sit down and eat this, you're going to feel satisfied. You know, if you eat something that's too brothy, as nice as the soup is, you'd want a sandwich to go with it. You'd want something else, and you might not have anything else. So something like this is a meal in a can. Something like this is a meal in a can. Something like this is a meal in a can. Here's another alternative. Get some stew. The Dinty Moore, I love this. I usually get the can. Actually, I have a Walmart.com order. It was due to come today. I think it's delayed. I'll probably get it tomorrow. And I ordered, I think, 1 or 2 cans of the Dinty Moore stew to have in my stockpile. You come home, you don't feel like cooking. What do? You can't run over to the local McDonald's because let me tell you, the prices. We hadn't been there for a while. It was my mother's birthday last weekend, a couple of nights ago, and we decided, you know what? We were running late. We hadn't had dinner. I said, let's do it. Make it simple. Get 4 meals. We'll call it a day. We'll get some ice cream cake. We'll go over, surprise her. My mother loves McDonald's. So I went up and I ordered what I thought was a meal. You know, the whole thing. This drink and fries and all. Pay attention. We're busy chit-chatting about the day. I get the 4 sandwiches and I get the 4 drinks. And I realize there's no French fries. So I look on my receipt and I got 4 sandwiches and I got 4 drinks. I'm like, ugh, I didn't order the right thing. I don't know how I ordered the number and anyway, doesn't matter. So back on the line, because you can't have a McDonald's without McDonald's French fries, right? And I wanted to make it special for my mom. First time without my dad, you know, going through the first. I just really wanted to be there for my mom. So we get back in the line and I order 4 large French fries. Oh my word. $17.36 for French fries. I kept saying the whole way from McDonald's to my mother's. I kept saying to my husband, smacking him in the arm. I'm driving and I'm smacking. $17 for French fries. For 4 French fries, you know, large, but $17. I was so flabbergasted, and I'm like, this is crazy. So we went, never told my mom. She's probably hearing it now. Mom, hello, if you're watching the YouTube, we love you. I just couldn't get over $17 for French fries. So we ate our meal. I said to my husband, you eat every last crumb for that price. We looked on the menu. They start at now $12 and up for a McDonald's meal, you know, like the 3 things, the drink, the fries, and I could not believe the prices. So listen, this right here is $3, Dinty Moore stew. This one I like. I had some other ones to show you, and my son and my husband ate them for lunch, so I don't have them. But these I like. They're come in a little, let's see if you can see it, come in a little container. So you don't need anything to warm it up in. You can eat it right out of this. And I don't want to open it up yet, but there you go. That's it. You warm it up. It comes in just this little, you know, with all the directions and the ingredients and all that. That's it right there. $3. $3. So this is a stew. Look at, that's delicious. It's great. And it's meat, carrots, and potatoes with a nice gravy. They have this with spaghetti and meatballs. They have this with chicken and mashed potatoes with gravy. I had that a while ago. Brought it for lunch one day at work. It was delicious. And my husband had it with beef, gravy, and mashed potatoes. There you go. There you go. A meal, well, it's not in a can, but you can get the Dinty Moore in a can, the stew. But a meal in a can, or a meal in a package like this. Why am I telling you something like this in the McDonald's story? Because listen, I spent, you don't even want to know how much I spent by the time we got done at McDonald's. It was ridiculous. But just know that the French fries were $17. Get a meal where you're getting everything, and you're, you know, McDonald's, you eat it, and then an hour later you're like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. Got anything in the house to eat? do something like this. Okay, tiny space, tiny budget, don't have a lot. How do we like combine all this? Get meals in cans, meals in cans, meals in packages, a full meal. So what I would recommend is that you go and get 5 that you can choose from. So these come in 4 varieties. You can get soup, like a nice soup like this, in a chicken. You could get it in a beef. You can get these in a variety, get something like this. If you got 5 of them, just 5, and you did $5 a week for the next month, at the end of the month, you're going to have a month's worth of dinners in your stockpile. In your tiny space, in your tiny stockpile, on your tiny budget, you're going to have 20 dinners set aside. And you say, well, yes, think about it. You don't have a lot of space. If you could just do a month's worth, you could fit them in a 5-gallon bucket. You could fit them in a cardboard box. You can get them in a plastic bin. You could probably fit them under your kitchen sink, in a drawer in your bedroom. You could fit 20 cans in a small space. It would cost you $20. That's for a month's worth of dinners. I spent almost $20 for a snack of French fries for 4 people, and we were hungry after. Think about that. I spent $20 for a snack versus $20 for a month's worth of dinners. You compare the two. If I can spend $20 on French fries, I could have went and spent that on a stockpile inventory for a small space on a small budget and came up with ideas like this. And I could have picked up 20 of these, 20 of whatever, and I could have had a month's worth of dinners. Think about it. Tiny space on a tiny budget. What can you do to have a stockpile? Can you do it? Absolutely, 100%. I don't have $5, Lynn. I'm so broke. I do not have $5. Do you have $1? Yes, you can do that? Great. You go and get 1 item a week. At the end of the month, you could have 4 to 5 items possibly and have a week's worth of a stockpile. Tiny space, tiny budget, stockpile. You can do it. Thanks so much for coming over. Leave a comment below if you're in a tiny spot and or if you're on a tiny budget, and maybe some suggestions that you might have and or questions. Let me know. I'd love to chat with you in those comments below.